So would you like to give Annie a big round of applause? So Annie volunteered on our youth team for best part of a year and a half, I would have thought. And she's heading on to new pastures. So I thought we'd get her to sort of come and introduce herself, and we can pray for her as well. So, Annie, first question is, how long have you been in Blackpool and what have you been doing?
So I've been in Blackpool about 3 years, and I kind of done a variety of things. I was part of Beacon Church and the Eden team there for a short time, but predating that and then since then, I've been part of a network called No Place Left, which is basically about going out, seeking people who are people of peace in their community or their circle when they come to faith, and just basically helping them very early on to know how they can share their faith and gathering with those people in their circles. So I've always worked in partnership and in harmony with all the pre-existing churches, but in a sense we're working outside of them as well, because some of those people, you know, we're working with them where they are, basically. What
do you like about Blackpool?
It's mad. It's crazy town, but there's something about it. I just love, there's a vibrancy, there's a colour. I mean, I know there's another side to it as well, but I sometimes like to look at places as I imagine God. You know, it's more like what you see that's positive rather than focusing on the negatives. And there's a lot of amazing people here, people who have got incredible difficulties in their lives, and yet I see community among the people that have struggled the most, you know, how they share. And just the colour, the life, the fact that it is a place where people come to have that, you know, a little bit of magic and get away. I can enter into all of that.
Lovely. And tell us about, how did you get involved with our youth here at the Gatehouse?
Well, that was never really part of the plan, but God has his ways, doesn't he? So you'll probably, obviously, most of you remember Emma Gaze. And I knew Emma because I did some youth work under her kind of leadership in Manchester, at a church called Ivy, used to be called Ivy Cottage. And so we'd had that friendship. So when I came up here, I realised that Emma had been doing some youth work here. And one day she said, "Oh, we're really short of people to do the hot chocolate this week. Do you think you could help?" So I helped as a one-off, but then it felt just very quickly like God was saying, "No, this isn't a one-off." And so it grew from there.
Right, and tell us, what was it like getting involved with the youth? What were some of your highlights there?
I absolutely love it. I think that you have an amazing group of young people here, colourful characters, but big hearts. And I just see them as people who can lead, you know. I just remember years ago hearing someone said about leadership, it's like handing someone a coat that's too big for them. And I feel like I see so much potential in all these young people. On the surface, you know, we might think, oh, how's that going to work out? But actually, they're gems. They're just so many gems.
We loved your heart for the young people and your dedication in terms of your consistency in volunteering week in, week out for that year and a half. We so appreciate that, so thank you. What are you moving on to?
Sometimes God doesn't tell you too much, does he? I'm sure many of you know that verse where it says, you walk in the darkness and have something like, blessed are those who walk in the darkness and have no light, but they trust in the name of the Lord. And I feel that the story over the last few years has been, I'll tell you the next step, but I'm not telling you the whole staircase. I think that was a quote from someone, but it just really stuck in my head. So each time I've had to take one step. In coming up to Blackpool in the first place, there was only one step. I didn't even know where I was going to live. There's another story to that. But going out from here, I just knew that, and just know that he's sending me on, and that Manchester is where I am in the interim. But I recently felt like he gave me the word pause. It was through the word, some of you will know there's a posh word, or a Hebrew word, I think, isn't it, called Selah? And I think one of the meanings of it is pause. And I felt like he said, I'm giving you a pause, and you're going to back to Manchester, where I do have family in the area, but it's a sense of I've got something else, but I'm not fully revealed it. He's not fully revealed it yet. I have some ideas, but I don't want to say them now because there's too much that's uncertain. And the lady where I live actually said to me, "Do you normally have you always lived like this?" She's not a Christian lady, she's a lovely lady. And I said, "No, I was in the same house for 25 years when I was married with my children growing up." So, it's a different sort of way that he's leading me, of just not knowing, but take one step and he'll show me the next. So I don't really know fully what's after Manchester.
And we will pray for you,
Thank you.
in that. So if you read in the Psalms that word Selah, I don't know, and it means pause. You'll see that in some of the Psalms, and so you read a portion of the Psalms, and then it was like there might be a musical interlude or something where you could stop and I suppose just think about that verse that you just said. So yeah, and in that waiting time as well, in that pause time, is never a waste. God works in all those situations. I mean, we had a sort of a 15-year waiting time. I did, from the time that God spoke to me about Cambodia, but in that time, it wasn't empty time. It was useful time, and so we can pray that for you as well, that pause time will be really, really useful time as you move forward. Is there anything else you'd like to say at all? Any words of wisdom, or anything like that? I'm not prepared her at all for this. I did say I was going to interview her, but she had no preparation. Anything you'd like to say?
I think I'd just like to say thank you, really, to this church. This whole church is a gem, I believe, from the Lord. I think I really massively respect yours and Kay's leadership. I just feel like it's unusual for a church to have made me so welcome and so part of a church that I'm not actually a member of. That's really outside of the box. I don't know that all churches could cope with that. But a word that I believe, and I've said it many times over the time I've been in Blackpool, God gave me very early on for the whole town really, is that there is only one church in Blackpool, and those who have the Holy Spirit are part of that church. So it's amazing that I've been so welcome here, and I just see a church. I've done some secular work out in the community at Revolution Community Hub, which some of you might know of, in Revo. I met quite a few through that, people who are right on the edge and destitute, and over and again things that this church is doing come up. Oh, we can go there on that day, or there's so many ways that you reach. It's just a relatively small congregation, but you reach out so far beyond who you actually number, and it's felt out there. I've been really right out in the community, and I can feel the other end, and it's what God is doing in families as well through the children's work and youth work. So I just want to sort of honour you all, really, and thank you for letting me have a little part of it.
Isn't that great? Thank you, and we appreciate that, and that is a real encouragement to us, so thank you.